Ian Ward here at LearnTheHarmonica.com. Today we're talking about blues improvisation. I'm going to get you started playing some simple blues solos. And the way we're going to do this is by limiting ourselves to a set number of notes over each chord. What we're going to do is play chord tones. Now don't be put off by the name chord tones. It isn't scary, it isn't necessarily difficult. Really all this means is we're going to pick the notes that the other instruments are playing, the notes that the guitar and the notes that the bass are playing in their chords. And that means what we're going to do is going to fit in with them. So I'm using a C diatonic harmonica, so we'd be playing blues in the key of G, second position. And for our one chord, the notes we're going to pick from are the 2 draw, 3 draw, 4 draw and 5 draw. So they're the notes that would make up a normal G7 chord. So in this case we've got G, B, D and F. And over the one chord of the 12-bar blues, we're going to start to build some phrases out of those notes. I'll talk about doing that in a minute, but we'll just go through the 4 and 5 chord as well. So on the 4 chord, we're going to play 1 blow, 2 blow, 2 draw, or you could use the 3 blow instead, and then the 3 draw half step bend. If you can't play the bend, just miss that note. So that's a C, E, G and B flat. And then finally for our 5 chord, we've got 1 draw, 2 draw half step bend, 3 draw full step bend, and then the 4 blow. That's our most difficult one because we've got 2 bends involved in there. If you can't play that, you can get away with the 4 draw, a 6 draw, 7 blow. So, immediately, you need to be able to play single notes and you need to be comfortable with a 12-bar blues chord progression. So if you can't do either of those things, then check out the links in the description. I have a lesson on single notes, I have lessons on the 12-bar blues structure. But just as a quick reminder, here is the blues structure for a standard 12-bar blues on your screen. So we've got the 1, 4 and 5 chords at various points throughout that 12-bar structure. So the notes that I have given you are the safe notes, if you like, the chord tones for each of the 1, 4 and 5 chord. So to start improvising, what we can do is first off play through those notes in order, in ascending order. So this is called arpeggiating or playing arpeggios for those chords. So to begin with, I'll just give you an example of that. I'm playing this to a backing track, which is available through my harp school. If you want to learn more about improvising and you want loads of backing tracks as well, you can get a free trial of my harp school in the via the link in the description. So I'll just give you an example of playing through these notes in order. It's not going to sound like a solo at the moment, that's for later in the video, but at the moment we're just going to play through them and it's going to sound fitting to the chords.
1, 2, 3, 4.
So far so good, but we're not yet soloing improvising. Those notes are still in order, so it kind of sounds like we're imitating a bass line, if anything. But what we can do in order to turn that into the beginnings of improvisation, the beginnings of soloing, is basically start to mix up those notes. Now, in its more complex form, you might use loads of different variations of those notes. But to begin with, we could just pick one or two of them. So let's say on the one chord, instead of playing 2, 3, 4, 5 draw, all of those notes, we might just play the 2 and the 3 draw and just try them at different rhythms, you know? And then on the 4 chord, we might choose the 1 blow and the 2 blow. You know, whatever. And then on the 5 chord, I might choose the 1 draw and the 2 draw half step bend. Something like that. I'm just starting to try out my own creative ideas. It doesn't matter at this point if they don't sound great. It doesn't matter if you think, you know what, this solo's rubbish, because everyone starts by thinking they're rubbish, and everyone has to start that way. It's the only way you get to the point of progressing and starting to come up with more interesting things. And this is where the real practice comes in. It's about forcing yourself to keep practicing, forcing yourself to keep trying new ideas. Pick 2 different holes next time. Pick 1 hole and just try different rhythms on that one single note. And this idea of restricting yourself actually helps you to be more creative. Before I give you a little example with the backing track, if you'd like to support my channel and also support your own learning, then please click like on this video. That lets YouTube know that it should show it to other people, and also subscribe to the channel. If you click the little bell, you'll get free harmonica lessons every single week. So here's a little example of me playing through the chord tones, but mixing up, maybe picking 1 or 2 holes for each chord. So I'm starting to play with the rhythms I'm using to build an improvised solo.
1, 2, 3, 4.
So that's just an example of what you can do with this limited set of notes. There are loads of different things that go into improvising. So if you want to find out more about how to take your blues playing to the next level, then check out a free trial of my harp school. You can see if it's for you, try out as many courses and backing tracks as you like, and then there's no obligation to carry on if you find that it doesn't suit you. There's a link in the description to find out more about that. So in my improv course at my school, I talk about note selection in a lot more detail than we did today, but we also talk about loads of different aspects of soloing. So hopefully it'll help you broaden your abilities in a deeper way than we have looked at today. But I hope you've enjoyed this brief introduction to choosing some notes for soloing. Let me know in the comments how you're getting on. I try and respond to as many as I can. And until I see you again, enjoy your practice. Cheers.